If there's no monetary transaction, I would never see you in my life.
No, hang on. Whoa.
You can't force a wave to come.
We've obviously seen a massive changing of the guard over recent years.
There was a fucking knee slider on the middle of the track.
Honestly, one of the nicest parts of the track in the world.
Kawasaki racing team is a very big structure. It's a factory team.
It's been the point of reference along with Jonathan for my time in World Superbike.
It's the pinnacle of production motorcycle racing.
When you turn up at your home race, something happens within.
When I cut that contract back in 2015, changed my life. You can't force a wave to come. Motorbikes like surfing, and in my career, you know, Kawasaki was that wave. When I cut that contract back in 2015, changed my career, changed my life. You know, I became not just a young rider with potential, but I became a champion.
We've obviously seen a massive changing of the guard over recent years. And a lot of the time it is just for the rivals having to accept that I might not be able to win again.
You know, when you start a season, you prepare every year for, you know, with the goal to win races and ultimately try and win the World Championship.
23 has been a really tough start to the year.
We've seen this over the years where a manufacturer is really dominant and then they go for a period where it's difficult.
We're the team and manufacturer that need to improve, we need to step up.
They've had all that success for so many years and it's a tough period.
Racing goes in cycles, we've seen it before. Sport in general goes in cycles, and there's ups and downs. And as Jonathan Ray has said many times, there can only be one winner.
In World Superbike, the rules go for and against you each year, and it's a constant battle to try to drag the most out of your package in the rules.
Nobody always wins forever, so it's sooner or later somebody will be better than you and will rise up the level on the next level.
I think if we can have that attitude each and every race and motivation to improve the bike, improve the package, improve myself, then you don't feel let down. You don't have these huge differences in emotion.
The level we need to reach with our bike, we know how to achieve, we know how to do it. The problem is that the rules are done in a way that actually is not possible to maximize our potential.
There's a manager, look. He ain't got no stress.
No stress.
There's Neil.
How are you doing? You all right?
Good, thank you. Hasn't it? Can't introduce you as my manager. You're just my mate, really.
No, I'm your manager, we're not friends.
You were once upon a time, you're not anymore.
If there's no monetary transaction, I would never see you in my life.
No, hang on. Whoa.
The first thing you have to ask for in a teammate is respect. You know, the relationship and everything can come after that, but you gotta understand that he's gonna beat you sometimes, I'm gonna beat him sometimes, and work together and try to leave what happens on the track, and Alex is amazing for that.
Girls, what do we want this weekend? We want podiums. We want podiums. That's you as well. We want podiums.
I think essentially what people don't realise for most motorcycle racers are at the end of that year they're unemployed. Most riders are on a 1-year deal. So what that brings them is a lot of insecurity.
For me, Alex is one of the best teammates I've had. It's for me a natural progression that he continues, and
it's a natural thing as a fan. Everyone's entitled to the opinion of what's happening.
And that's tough because you take that home with you.
If they spent any time with me and knew my situation, and knew what I put into it, knew how I was as a person, it would be different. As a general rule in motorcycle racing, people probably don't quite realise what goes in from a mental side.
It's tough, honestly, for riders. It's a lot more difficult than people think.
he's pretty hard on himself at times as well, so it's it's a case of just working together with himself, myself, our crews, and trying to, excuse the pun, but make Kawasaki great again.
World Superbike is a production-based motorcycle racing series. So the bikes are essentially road machines.
It's the pinnacle of production motorcycle racing, and the whole premise is to showcase your technology, showcase your wares, and ultimately attract customers, track day customers, sport bike riders to your product.
You see the guys riding ZX10 on the street, on the road, doing track days. So to be able to showcase that bike to its full potential, as from my riding side and also from the team side, as part of the Kawasaki racing team, it's an honour, and it's exciting. It's an exciting challenge.
The fact that these are the road-going models, yes, they're modified, but essentially you can go out and buy one of these machines, and the old adage always used to be win on Sunday, sell on Monday, and in many ways it still is.
Certainly the result at the racetrack could be beneficial or detrimental to how sales go at the end of the day. Winning is vital, because it's the reputation of your company that's basically on the line.
I like to say that World Superbike is like a B2C championship, meaning business to consumers, because in Superbike you see people that really like motorbikes.
It's been like that from day one, really. They've always tried to make the riders approachable, accessible for the fans.
You can go into the paddock, go essentially up to the back of the garages or the hospitalities and the motorhomes of the riders, pictures, selfies, autographs. There's a paddock show as well with concerts, auctions. It's easy access.
See the agendas of our riders in every single day. It's mad. Like, they have to combine, like they go to the paddock show, they have meet and greets, they have private meetings.
Here you can walk into the paddock and Johnny and Alex will be walking around, come out the hospitality and down to their motorhomes. It's a special feeling.
And the fastest rider on the combined time today for the
Fastest,
Kawasaki
mate.
Racing
Let me.
Team, six-time world champion.
Forget what it feels like.
Jonathan.
Thanks guys for coming out. I know the weather's a bit crap, but hopefully tomorrow it's a lot better and we can put a green bike up there and a blue.
I'm not surprised at this weather.
He should have been here two weeks ago. It was like summer, eh? It was nice. It's the Europeans come here and bring their crap weather. So.
And how much do you enjoy racing in front of the home crowd here?
Yeah, I look forward to it a lot. It's a great opportunity for me to race in front of the English fans. It's the only race we have, unfortunately, in England through our calendar.
Oh hell yeah! Of course I'm gunning for the podium. For me, focusing on Friday, new asphalt here at Donington. Need to understand that, put the package together, and then roll my sleeves up come Saturday.
When you turn up at your home race, something happens within, and it's a special feeling.
I grew up in the World Superbike Championship, so literally the same fans that follow that, you see them here. So it almost feels like it's a real home race. You feel like you're connected to people.
Fans is the meaning of all the efforts for the team.
The passion that all the fans have got for you, the support, it's honestly, it's awesome. It's one of the things that I really miss.
Getting to race in front of our home fans at Donington is always a highlight of the year, and with all our friends and family here, it's always an extra special weekend.
Basically, fans is the reason why we are here, and we need to thank them for that.
Donington's unreal. Donington, wow. Like, if I was designing a track, I'd be stealing 3/4 of Donington.
Honestly, one of the nicest parts of track in the world.
Yeah, you could finish up.
Hard to get right, very hard to get right.
The natural amphitheatre of Craner Curves and Hollywood, up Schwanzes.
I bragged for years I wasn't part of the Craner Club, and then I fucking had a massive one going into the old hairpin one year.
The section through Craner Curves and the old hairpin up through Schwanz is one of the best sections of track that we do in the whole calendar. So
Down Craner Curves into this deep corner called the old hairpin, which sounds like a slow corner, but it's not. It's third gear fast, and then you bottom out in a valley and come up this a really fast left-hand corner. It's probably, I don't know, 130, 140 miles an hour. The bike starts to move. Honestly, the feedback you get from riding around this track, the feeling this track gives you, it's something special.
it's such a fast downhill. 140, 150 mile an hour at the top, the bike sliding, and yeah, it's such a, I guess, a buzz to ride this part of the track, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fourth gear. It's like, we talk about arm pump in motocross, quite common. This track's synonymous for arm pump. You can imagine the change of direction here and how tense you are on the bike, and then when you're controlling like more than 200 horsepower, trying to change that 170 kilos direction, it's a handful here trying to nurse it down this part of the track.
And the downhill is so much more than you think. When you think it's flat, don't you, until you come and actually stand up here. But yeah, tough part of the track. Straight into the sun, so I look 55.
When do you fly back?
Monday.
Yeah, sweet. So some podium pie this weekend, and Sunday night we're going to Alex's house.
I live here, 5 minutes away. Big
Barbecue
party.
beers. Oh mate. How is it? Yeah. Looks smooth. Just the curbs are a bit unbalanced with the tarmac. A lot of areas are. Yeah.
You should have seen what they were like when it was first done.
Yeah.
Yeah, to build them up again. So no one had a problem.
Cool man.
That's good.
Sweet.
Kawasaki, pole sitters here in 8 of the last 10 visits, and who posted a 1-2 on the grid here last year.
Jonathan Ray's had a lot of success here as well, and he's been the fastest rider through the free practice.
The new asphalt was the main focus for the riders. Reports from the British Championship are that the new track will be tougher on tyres.
So yeah, be careful, you don't want to tow, you know, that track is alright, like, it's a big help, you know. When you tow the category, you put him straight away on the pace.
So we agree now, if we make 2 flying laps on the first clear tyre, we change outside. Yeah?
Scott Redding goes fastest with his first flying lap, following in the tyre tracks of Jonathan Ray. Alex Lowe's now goes one better, a 1 minute 26.684.
We change inside,
Jonathan Ray crosses the line, a 1 minute 26.041, and it's 3.5 tenths of a second faster than Toprak Razgatlioglu. Jonathan Ray looking like he could be on pole here.
More speed than P5, but okay. Yeah, it is what it is.
Jonathan Ray, number 65, is on pole position for the first time in the 2023 season, and another one for Jonathan here at Donington.
No, what? You see what was on the track? Why is that possible?
No, it was Bautista who was on the side of the
there
track.
was a knee slider on the middle of the track. I came down the train like the old hairpin, but hit this knee slide in the middle of the track.
No, your speed is so much better than P5. Okay, it's not ideal, but your speed is much better than this.
Johnny, 3rd consecutive pole at Donington Park, another lap record. Brilliant job.
Yeah, thank you very much. You know, Donington have done such a good job of the tarmac. I felt like we would be much faster, but there's so much grip from the rear tyre and the surface that you're entering the corners much faster. I made a few mistakes on the lap, but was clean enough to be on the pole position, so I'm super happy. You know, new territory for us, qualifying on pole this year, and hopefully it gives me a good chance to get away with the front guys in the race and try and stay there.
No one's done any laps, have they, so I've just got to try relax at the start. I reckon it'll just be the rear tyre. I think the front tyre is going to be quite good. Like, I need to just make sure I use the front to keep the lap time.
Good news for Alex Lowe's in advance of this round. Just confirmed this week that he will remain with KRT to complete their lineup for 2024, his latest contract extension.
Make some steps to increase the push to the rear tyre for more consistent rear grip.
And generally a closer match, I think it's fair to say, for Ray in 2023. So a sensible move for stability from Kawasaki.
Those felt that maybe there was a chance of a better lap at the end of the session. He came through one of the corners and hit a knee slider from another crash, so cost him a bit of time, but he feels pretty good on that bike around here.
Jonathan Ray then, who starts from your pole position. Well, the Emilia-Romagna round, the second round this season that didn't yield even one podium to Jonathan Ray. The first time he hasn't taken at least some silverware from Misano with Kawasaki. 5 races now without a trip to the rostrum for Jonathan Ray, matching his longest run since 2014.
It's going to be an interesting race because nobody really knows what to expect. Do what you do best, mate.
For race 1, Bautista, excellent start from the World Championship leader.
Lock, yes, I thought he was going in. Jonathan Ray is the front, into Melbourne loop up the inside, a block pass. Bautista sees him last minute. And
Tyre temperature can also be an issue, because the wind is so cold.
Toprak up the inside into Melbourne.
Yes.
Bautista waiting in the wings to take advantage of this. Top Rack leads the weekend if you've been with us.
wow,
is he going to go up the inside of Starkey's? Did he get through? I think he has, and that's one of the overtakes of the century. Yes!
Beautiful stuff from Jonathan. Underneath Bautista at the old hairpin. What a move that is. Is he going to hold the line? No, he isn't.
And look at Ray. Look at Ray on Top Rack for the second lap in a row, and he's run wide, and Bautista will try and take advantage. This is the best racing we've seen for ages.
But Bautista says, yes, I will.
Oh, and there goes Petrucci, and he's taken the first of those Kawasaki's.
Yeah.
He has taken Alex Lowe's. Can he catch Jonathan Ray? Bautista wins at Donington Park. Ray just signalling to the crowd, well, we couldn't get the win, but he has, of course, succeeded in finally picking up his 250th World Superbike podium finish.
Well done, man. Well done, Biel. Very good. Finish, let me say, overall, 110 with top rack, 1.5 tenths a lap.
To absolutely empty myself for a perfect race with the bike I had, and we're one of the slowest on track at the end for 6th round Donington Park. Fucking no chance, boys.
The Motul FIM Superbike World Championship Prosecco Dock Round here at Donington Park. It is time for the Race 1 podium. In 3rd place for the Kawasaki Racing Team, Jonathan Ray.
You're the first rider to hit 250 podiums.
Yeah.
How does it feel?
The guy in Park Ferme just told me that, and that was incredible. You know, makes me feel very proud, but very old as well. Beyond my wildest dreams to achieve what I have done already, and continue to do. So I think just enjoy it, and hopefully many more to come.
Yeah, we just try and do a bit better tomorrow, and hopefully somebody can be a bit closer to Bautista. But you have to give him credit to keep doing what he's doing. He's doing a good job.
I mean, the obvious thing that makes Kawasaki different to the rest of them is the colour. It's green and it's very, very easy to spot on the TV and in pictures, so on and so forth.
Kawasaki Racing Team is a very big structure. It's a factory team. This means that we travel around the world, almost 40 people.
It's obviously a Spanish-based outfit, united with the Japanese factory.
Including the staff in hospitality, the engineers, the technicians, suspension people.
The operation itself is a real slick outfit. It's been the point of reference along with Jonathan for my time in World Superbikes.
Besides that, we have a group of engineers in Japan that support us with R&D and development.
All this knowledge, all this commitment, in some ways transfer to all the bikes they can produce for the people on the street.
The team's amazing, the bike's been amazing. But what happens is, whilst you continue to win, the other manufacturers don't like it, so they work hard and do their homework.
So many of the engineers staying in the racing project are moved or transferred to other projects, and sure, in some way they use this part of experience.
Ultimately, Kawasaki is the sponsor of their own program. You know, they want to benefit from the sales of that.
There's always more to it than what you see from the outside, and it's a pleasure to be part of. And it's, like I said, a slick operation.
You know, that's why everybody works so hard. It's why everybody gets paid the money. It's why the budgets are here, is to go win races, ultimately.
The first full resurfacing in 2 decades was carried out this winter. We've had lap record pace all weekend, and earlier this afternoon we had the first ever lap in the 1:25s, an average speed of 168.6 kilometres per hour.
Let's not beat around the bush. I actually laughed yesterday, and I didn't laugh, I was fucking crying inside my head. So it's so hard to compete with someone like that. So that's why I said my target today is top rack. You know, if I can beat him. But if I get a sniff of Alba in the Super 4 race, he'll be having it. Like,
Alex Lowe's with 2 6th places this weekend thus far. It's a question of what is the maximum that's available to you, and thus far 6th place has been exactly that. Jonathan Ray set for his 30th Donington Park race start. 18 of those thus far have ended in podium finishes, 6 of them in wins.
So I want to know the gaps on the groups.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to be in a big group. You know?
Yeah.
When people start to leave me on the grid and it's just me, you can't replicate that feeling because you know you're going out to do battle. It's just you and the track now. Nobody else can support you.
You're absolutely 100% in on something, and I feel like that's a special zone, let's say, to be in that you can't experience in normal life, and I really, really enjoy that part of the job.
It will be go at Donington. Jonathan Ray's made an excellent start on the green number 65 Kawasaki.
A true G. Oh! Even worse in the background. I think it was one of the Yamahas. I think it's a Honda.
Now come and look at you can see the carnage there at the top of the screen. It's a horrible situation.
Keep the clutch.
Jonathan Ray, of course, like the others, there's not much he can do at the moment. It must be a horrible feeling for a rider when Petrucci had a moment first. Now what happens in the background?
Oh, it's Tom that started it. Oh, and then Baz then just hit the side of Rinaldi.
Obviously we don't want to be late, but don't go too early because it'll get cold waiting on the grid.
As we get ready to go again, it's just 22 laps this time here at Donington Park. Lights are on and a 22-lap restart is underway here at Donington Park. Who's going to get the whole shot? Bautista is leading again, and Ray's gone through on Toprak. He's trying to go through on Bautista, absolutely side by side. Ray and Locatelli look at them together, and Ray goes up the inside of Bautista, runs wide. Bautista back in front.
Brilliant couple of corners from Jonathan Ray. Blocked past Toprak into Redgate turn 1, and then he tried down into the old hairpin on Bautista, but went slightly wide up the hill. Surely the block pass here from Toprak into Melbourne Loop. Oh, how late do you want it? And Jonathan Ray says, thanks very much, I'll have a bit of that as well. 26.5 for Alex Lowe's. Fastest man on the track at the minute by nearly a second. As Bautista comes up underneath Jonathan Ray. Oh, how close do you want it through there?
Now will be a side-by-side moment, and then it's who's latest on the brakes at Redgate. Look at that. Through he goes, it's lap 13, Bautista leads. Does he run wide as he did on the first start before the red flag? Can Toprak get back underneath him? It's now or never, Toprak. Go on, yes! I've got nothing against Alex Lowe's, I'd love to see him on the podium, but Petrucci goes through, and that's 4th place. Next target, Jonathan Ray. Now, we've been here to do another one.
Here he comes, yes he can! Oh, Jonathan just gives him a slight bit of room, and then through he goes. Battle for Preston British here at Donington Park, and Jonathan Ray takes it, but here comes Scott Redding again.
I'm coming through, those will try and take advantage, Locatelli, Bassani, they're all there. Bautista does the double at Donington.
This is like the podium this ride, no? Because if you look the step of yesterday, it's massive.
Yeah. Well done, mate.
That was the run, mate. I can't really do any more than that.
No, you rode the wheels of the thing, mate.
There were moments this weekend where you looked like you had the opportunity to fight for a podium. So what are your thoughts walking away from Donington Park?
Yeah, I felt like I rode well. I felt like we really struggled for rear grip, especially after sort of 14, 15 laps.
In some race, I felt good with the bike, so some reason for optimism, but tough weekend. Tough finish to the weekend, but we'll be back stronger.